pattern that we're used to. So if I gave you something like this, not everything is nice and pretty, just x squared x and a constant. But you notice this one is kind of like that trinomial format. We have the three terms. My variables, my first term has an a squared, my last term has a b squared. My middle term has both a and b. What are you doing? So it's actually like that quadratic format. Think about when you do slip and slide. First of all, I guess I should have said, do we have Gray's common factor? No, the first two do, but the 15 doesn't. So we're going to go ahead and move the 4 down. Okay, so if this is a factor, a squared would just break into an a. What numbers multiply to 60 and add to 16? But you notice this isn't just a 60, it's a 60b squared, so what do both the 10 and the 6 need with them? A b. 10b and 60. Then we just have to undo our slip and slide, so divide our 4 back. So 10 over 4 reduces to 5 over 2. So we get 2a plus 5b. 6 over 4 reduces to 3 over 2, so that would be 2a plus 3b. So even though my variables looked a little different, this was still a slip and slide problem. Let's try another one. Alright, so we have x's and y's, but x squared, y squared, then an xy, then a constant. So it's like a trinomial. We can do our slip and slide. So we bring the 8 over. X squared, y squared, what would I put in the front of each parenthesis? xy. What multiplies to 32 and adds to 33? And that one didn't have any variables with it. So now we just have to divide our 8 back. So we get, oops. xy, 32 divided by 8 is 4. This one you can't reduce, so slide the 8 back in the front, so 8xy plus 1. Is this okay? Should we do one more? Maybe? Let's do one more. One more. What's the first step on this one? GCF, yes. What can I take out of all of these? 2. Okay, so remember when you take it out, it doesn't just disappear, it's just going in front. Now, we can slip and slide with what's left. So that 2 is just staying out in front. 15 times 14, 210. Is that right? Double check my math. M squared would break into M. What multiplies to a negative 210 and adds to a positive 11? And since it was r squared, what else did those mean? Okay. Then we have to divide our 14 back. So 10 over 14 reduces to 5 over 7. So 7m minus 5r. 21 over 14 reduces to 3 over 2. So 2m plus 3r. Are those okay? Alright. What if I give you this kind of problem? Yikes. Give up, time to change your schedule, drop class, it's just impossible. How many terms are there? 4. Do you remember? Grouping. Yes, 4 terms, we do grouping. So with grouping, you want to add parentheses and make 2 groups of 2. Remember, there has to be a plus sign between the 2 parentheses, not a minus. So we're okay on this one. So I group the first 2, I group the second 2. If I look at these, now I do the GCF for each. So in the first parenthesis, what can we take out? If you do that, what are you left with? Plus, in the second parenthesis, what can I take out? What am I left with? Grouping works if they have a parenthesis in common. Haven't we already done some greatest common factor problems where we were taking out an entire parenthesis? So now I'm going to take out that x minus 4 that they both have. If I take it out of the first term, I'm just left with x squared y. If I take it out of the second term, we have a plus 2. And that's our final answer. Is that one okay? How many terms? 4. So what do we do? Grouping. Okay, if I do this, what have I done wrong? There's a subtraction. If you distribute that subtraction, it changes the original problem. You can never add a parenthesis after a subtraction. So what I'm doing before I change this, or before I add my parentheses, minus 6px is the same as plus negative. Then I add my parentheses. What can I take out of the first set of parentheses? And if we take that out, what are we left with? Okay, the second set, what are we going to take out? Okay, I heard 2p and I heard negative 2p. So let's see. If you take out a 2p, you're left with negative 3x plus 2. Do my parentheses match? No, they're off by a sign. So what we're going to do instead is take out the negative 2. You take out negative, that term becomes positive, and this one becomes negative. And now my parentheses match. They both have the 3x minus 2. And if I take that out, I am left with x squared minus 2. Can you guys try one of these? You guys do this. Okay, so what do I do before I add my parentheses? Plus negative. And then we can add our parentheses. So the first set you can take out a squared, which would leave us with a minus 1. Second set, what are you going to take out? That would leave you with a minus 1. They both have the a minus 1, so you take that out. And we have a squared minus 5. Does a squared minus 5 factor any further? No. What if it were a squared minus 25? What would you do? Difference of squares. So always check and make sure it doesn't go any further. Okay. Do we need any more problems like this? Okay. So the last thing that I want to touch on. How much time do I have? Okay. I'm going to stop and I'll save this for tomorrow. So there is an assignment on Math Excel. I'm going to adjust my due date on this because there's one last thing I want to do. You may know how to do the problem, so you're welcome to do them all, but if you come to any that say substitution and you're not sure what to do, you can wait on those. As a general rule, let me tell you a few things about Math Excel. I will always set the deadline for 3 o'clock on the day it's due. That gives you time to ask me questions. So it will never be due when you walk into this classroom. This one is set, right now it's set to be due at 3 o'clock tomorrow, but I'll bump it and give you another day. Okay, that way if you have questions when you come in, especially right now when we're learning it, if you walk in and say, okay, I don't know why it's counting this answer wrong, I can help you. There are a lot of resources, so before you just start clicking and doing homework and tuning me out, listen for a second. There is a show me an example button, where it will walk you through a problem similar to the one you're doing. There is an Ask My Instructor button, which if you click that, it will send me an email and you can type a message. Now don't just say, I don't know what I did wrong. Like, say, this is the answer I got, I'm not sure where my mistake is, or something, okay? So that will email me, and I can answer you that way. When you type in your answers, it is picky, like if you have an extra space or something, it will sometimes count things wrong. We'll get better at that as we go through it, so if you're typing it in and you don't know why it's wrong, you can raise your hand and I'll help you. But you get 3 tries for every problem before it counts it wrong. Okay, so it will tell you, I'm sorry, that's incorrect, try again. If you miss it 3 times, it will give you the correct answer, but then there is a button that says try a similar problem. And if you click that, it will give you new numbers, and you can work the problem again to get your points back. So you should be able to get 100% on every single assignment if you take the time to do so. All right? So I'm giving you some time in class today so you can kind of get used to it. You will have to work things out on another sheet of paper. I don't collect your work pages when we do things on Math Excel, so you can do it in your notes or wherever you want. But if you're asking me for help, I am going to ask to see your work so I know what you did.